This week kicks off with a windy and cold day. I spent the day inside watching the weather from my warm and cozy space. The cats inspired me to take things slow today. The colors of the sky were quite pretty this evening, and I got a photo of my neighborhood street with the wind-blown clouds rushing over the sky. It's Thanksgiving Day, and I'm making a few foods and treats for myself. I'm starting off with some rich black tea in this adorable Tea for One owl tea set. With that tea, I'm making the most decadent bowl of oats. I'm adding apple and banana, peanut butter, and chocolate chips. With breakfast sorted and my energy up, I'm making my go-to vegan cheese sauce. It's a potato, carrot, and cashew base with the cheesy flavor coming from a hearty amount of nutritional yeast. I will link all of these recipes in the description. Off camera, I put a few whole sweet potatoes in the oven to bake. They usually take an hour or more, so I'm grabbing some quality cuddle time with Ruby. I'm making some fresh chocolate chip cookies for dessert. I've not tried this recipe before, but it promises to make some soft and chewy cookies that stay fresh for longer. To serve as a vehicle for the cheese sauce, I'm roasting some broccoli and cauliflower. I'll reheat some leftover rice and bean filling from the stuffed peppers I made last week to round out the meal. Now, of course, before I tuck into this fabulous spread, I have to memorialize it in a photo. I wanted this photo to have a bright, soft look, so I set up 2 flashes. One pointing at the wall to make my main light source, and one at a distance pointing at the ceiling to fill in the shadows. Alright, that's done, and it is time to eat. Coming off of an energetic day of cooking, I am absolutely drained. I just wanted to stay in darkness and rest today. This happens to me a lot after I have a full day of activity. My dimly lit dining room, which was the scene of so much warmth the previous day, reflected my energy perfectly. Continuing with my slow recovery days, this day I still didn't get up to very much. In the evening, I managed a few minutes outside to get some fresh, crisp air and enjoy the sunset. For supper, I'm using some remaining ingredients from my Thanksgiving meal. I will be stir-frying some broccoli and cauliflower, cooking some pasta, and topping it all with cheese sauce. It's my ideal comfort food meal. cold settles in, I'm continuing to embrace a cozy theme with my photos. I know I don't have myself in my photos too often. On one hand, I can't stand myself in photos. On the other, I still haven't found a very efficient way to take self-portraits. I'm working around those things here by sitting in a spot that lets me pre-focus on my position, covering my body with a big shawl and cropping out my head. The real star of this photo is the cookies. A beautiful snowfall surprised me this morning. I'm one of those people who will forever be enchanted by snow. I love how it both quiets and transforms the surroundings. Now, I admit my area does not get months of deep snow and freezing temperatures. I may have a different attitude towards it if that were the case. Instead, the snow tends to briefly visit, tickling at childhood wonder, and leaves just as soon as the cold is getting bothersome. I spent today fixated on the view outside my windows. It's late in the evening, December 1st. I just finished baking the last 4 cookies I have. I had hoped to start December 1st with a lot of decorating and getting into the season, but today was pretty busy, so I unfortunately didn't have time for any of that. I didn't even have the chance to take any video until tonight. This evening I went out to the Kentucky Horse Park to take a few photos of the Southern Lights. It started the week of Thanksgiving, but this was the first time I had been out there. I thought I better go because we actually had snow November 30th and today, which was very unusual for Kentucky. Usually it does not snow in December, hardly ever in Kentucky. We get most of our snow January through March. Unfortunately, yesterday morning the snow caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be the pretty sticky kind that sticks to everything. So I stayed home yesterday, but I just kept thinking about it and thinking that I needed to get out there. And it was almost like one of those things that starts to cause this ball of stress that just kind of sits there and makes me never feel very relaxed at all. It was keeping me awake all night last night, so I knew if I didn't get out there, I would be upset with myself. So I knew I just needed to get that taken care of. I didn't take any video while I was out there, though. I was actually very stressed while I was working. I only had a very short amount of time to get the photos, and I wanted to leave before all the cars started coming in. When I got out there, I think it was around 5 o'clock, and it was still too bright outside. Anytime I tried to take a photo, you just couldn't see the lights against the background. So I needed to wait a few minutes for the light to get dark, but I wanted to leave before the cars started coming through. Therefore, I only had about 15 to 20 minutes to get as many photos as I could and leave. They did add a little visit with Santa along the driving route, and Santa was already out there, so I got his picture. They finally had one of my favorite lighting displays near the driving route, so I could photograph it up close. It's a carousel. Normally it's off in a parking lot and I can't get to it easily. There were so many other displays out there that I didn't get to photograph tonight since I was wanting to get home before it got too dark. I will be going out a few more times before the year is over. But now there are 2 things I must take care of before the day is over, and that is to drink 2 special December 1st teas. This particular tea comes from Adagio, and it is their It's called their Community. And there is a tea in here for every day of the month of December. So anyone who got this box will be drinking this tea today, and I don't want to miss out. I also got Adagio's Advent Calendar. So I haven't started on it yet, but I am going to see what December 1st is. It's cranberry. Cranberry is one of their most popular festive teas, so I will be making this to have with my cookies. And the December 1st tea is a black tea. It's cinnamon. It has cinnamon, black tea, ground cinnamon, orange, natural spicy cinnamon flavor, and cloves. I don't think I've ever had this tea before. I usually stay away from cinnamon. I'm not that crazy about those warming spices kind of teas, but I think this will be good. Usually if it's a black tea, I like it. So I think I'm actually going to start with the cinnamon and end with the cranberry because I know I like the cranberry. I've had it before. That was a really nice tea and cookie treat. I was surprised I liked the cinnamon tea pretty well. It had a very strong cinnamon taste, but it was the kind of tea that I would love to have on a day like today where I've been out in the cold and my fingers are cold and my face is cold. It just warms me up all over. The cranberry tea smelled fabulous. I might have used too much water when I brewed it because the taste wasn't as strong as I would have preferred. But I still really enjoyed it, and I am so looking forward to the teas that I get to have tomorrow. And now it is very late, and after all the cookies and 2 cups of tea, I don't know how well I'll sleep, but they sure were good and definitely worth it.